Okay, in this video I'm going to show you some basic navigation of the online classroom. I'll show you how to add a news item, how to add content, and how to change content. So this is your online classroom, as you know. So the news items are designed to show up here to the right. And if you want to alter a news item, the title here, it has a little arrow to the side of it. And you can view it even if you just click into view, it'll give you the option of editing it. Really, this arrow to the right side is the key to editing and changing posts. So you can click on edit, and you don't have to go into it in order to edit. You can do it from the front screen. And then just click into the box and you can change it in any way that you want and just update. And it will automatically update to the news item. You can also delete news items. You can change news items that are in the queue. So you'll notice that each item has a posted date. You can also set up expiration dates for those news items as well. If you want to see all the ones that are loaded up for the future of the course, just click to view all news items, and all of these are loaded up, and the release date, the start date, they'll start the Sunday before the week that it is scheduled on the news item. It'll start on the Sunday at 8:00 a.m. so that students can get in and yeah, they can get to work on the items. I've told students that it's not a self-paced course. They really need to work on the modules when they show up for the correct week. The module number corresponds to the week number, so you'll notice that in content. So let me go into the content section. That each module lines up to the week that it corresponds to. I was trying to make that a little bit more straightforward. So let's say that you want to change the syllabus addendum. What are your options here? So if you click to the right, the down arrow, you can do all of these things. The ones that you want to, you'll probably use most often will be to delete the topic completely. If you click delete topic, you'll have these options that you can remove the topic but keep the content, the associated files, or permanently delete both the topic and the files. If it's associated with the Dropbox, you kind of want to take the Dropbox away. I usually default to the first one, and then that way I won't be losing anything that I didn't intend to lose if I delete it. So, but let's say you want to alter it. It's kind of easier just to click into it and then click the down arrow here, and you can edit the title. You can change the title very easily, or you can go in and edit the HTML, and that means that you can just kind of click in. So if you want to copy and paste what you've already composed or what you've already written for your syllabus addendum, you can just copy and paste it into this box and then just click update when you're finished. So that's pretty easy. Let's see here. Let me go back to table of contents. So it's pretty easy to add files to a module. You can upload a file, and what that will do is you just pull it from your computer and upload it. You can add a video, or if you have a video link or an audio link, you can put it directly in here so that it'll open up automatically for your student whenever they go in, when they click the link for that. So that's kind of nice. You can create a file, and what this does is it allows you to type in the box, and it converts it to HTML so that it just shows up on the screen, just like that syllabus addendum. You can type it right here as well. Let's see what else is in there. Links, you can create a link, obviously. Add from manage files, I haven't quite done that. Checklists, I haven't really gotten into those either. You can also create discussions and drop boxes here, and quizzes and surveys. All of them have kind of been created for this course already, so it's not necessarily something that you have to do. So I think the content's pretty straightforward. You can move it up or down. It's pretty easy to change the modules. You can add modules pretty easily as well. You can drag and drop activities to other modules as well, so it's pretty easy that way. Let's go into discussions here. So for discussions, again, they're already set up for you, and I can show you a little bit more about how to access students' responses. One thing that students will tend to do is they won't click into it. It's really important that they click into it. Otherwise, they can't start a new thread. So what you'll get is sometimes students will say, well, I can't get into the discussion. Is it closed? It's not closed. You just need to click into the title to get into the discussion. The Dropbox is also set up. All the Dropboxes that we're using. And so each Dropbox, and you can kind of click around and just edit folder is the key to changing Dropboxes. So it puts it in a grading category. It attaches it to a grading item so that whenever you put in the grade in the Dropbox, it shows up in their grade book as well. Restrictions have to do with the dates that they can submit. So the start date is when it's open to them, and then the due date is just kind of, it doesn't close the Dropbox when this date and time come. It just shows you, who's late. It'll show up as, like the time is in red, and it's like -1 hour or, more than a day late or something like that. So it's not as traumatic for students because it doesn't close, but it still shows that they're late. I haven't really associated objectives, but for all the Dropbox items, we enable Turnitin checker, the originality check. And then I always let learners see their scores in the Dropbox, because if there's a reading that they have a lot of borrowed material, I want them to be able to see in their paper what shows up as borrowed material. And then I usually just make the grade mark available now. That just means as soon as you post it, students will be able to see it. I've had an experience in the past where this was a later date and nobody could get in to see their feedback, and I was kind of running around like crazy trying to find a solution. So Dropboxes, we can talk a little bit more about those later. So let's go into the grade book. The easiest way to kind of manage grades, or to look at kind of the whole course as a whole in the grades that'll be given, is to go under Manage Grades. And this shows you kind of the points value. I have it balanced at 1,000 points right now, so all of these should be correct. So it's already set up. If you ever want to add a grade item, you just go over to New and then Item. Always choose Numeric, and then you make a name for the grade. You can put it under categories. If you want it to be bonus, you just click the bonus and it shows up as extra points for that as well. One thing I learned recently is that you can make grades accessible to the students. You can make it to where they can see, and let me kind of play around with this a little bit. So let's say that you want them to be able to see their final grade. You just click this button, Release Final Adjusted Grade, and I think that should then show it to them. Let me see what it looks like on the outside. Final Calculated Grade. I'll have to play with that a little bit more before I figure it out. I think. Let's see. Final Calculated Grade. Oh, uh-oh, out of date. I need to look at that. Okay, well, the good news is you can kind of play around with it, and it's pretty forgiving whenever you do that. So, yeah, just kind of feel free to click around, experiment a little bit. Yeah, try to figure out how to add that content and change content. And if you have any issues, just let